Okay. Let me decipher all this. Place this in here. Flip every chunk of n characters in a string where n is any positive integer greater than 1. Please give me a second to read the problem for the first time. Every chunk of n characters in a string where n is any positive integer greater than 1. What? Oh, it's because this thing is 5. Okay, so flip every n character. So, like it says, it's a lot like the last one. So I'm not, completely screwed here. Um, a short example. Every 5 characters? Well, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, if this is 5, I don't know why I started counting at 0. So 5, 5, and then just drawing them all together, I guess? So what's the difference between flipping it every 5 characters and flipping it just all of it? Is there a difference? A short example, a space, ASH. Well, this one. Okay, right, so a space, flip, SH, flip, O, A, flip? A, A space, flip, right, so that's space A. Boop, boop, and then so A show, A space, space A, SHHS, O. But it wants me to flip the last character? How about this? What if we described it how we did last time, where so so space A, then SA, then J, then O. Hey, how do we get from here to here? Hmm. Let's see here. Let's see. So EG space RK. EG space. Oh wait, whoops. Well, RT EX. RT is literally sent to the other side. EX P. Oh, so the middle stays the same, but we flip everything around it? So what happens if there's 6, right? Let me copy this into here. Oop. Okay. So, from my understanding, if it's odd, we keep this the same. If it's even, we flip it throughout. That is the method that I'm going to try to go for. So, what are some potential problems of doing that, right? I guess I still, okay, so if it's odd, right, I understand that we should flip it around here, but if it's even, how do we flip it? Do we just flip it how we did last time, where it's OH, then S space, then AX, then E space, then TR, yada yada yada. Um, hmm. Oh, okay, okay. Here's one as well. Here's an even example. So N space FUB, N space, so space N space N NF. Ah, okay. So really, the first character always goes to the very last if it's even. That's really all that is. So let me test that out real quick. Let's do an example problem here. So F B F G H I. So first we flip F and G, so it's G and F. Then it's F and H and F. Then it's I and F. So going under that, assuming that is the way to do this, correct, then literally the only thing that happens is this goes here. So, hmm, okay. So going under that assumption, hmm, what are some potential problems that I think I might face? Honestly not sure. I'm fairly certain that that is the solution. Okay. So now let's plan out how we're gonna do this. So from top to bottom, pretend to be a compiler or linter or interpreter or what have you, something so we're gonna have to loop through the string in chunks. First step is getting all the chunks together, right? So split character into chunks. Then we have to flip through those chunks, flip every two characters, those chunks. Those chunks. If even, um, first character goes last. If odd, string is flipped by middle. So flip, then join the chunks, the flipped chunks together, right? Okay. So split the characters into chunks, flip every two characters of those chunks. So if we can't see, what I don't get is why can't we apply this to this? Well, not that, this. So a space is let's show. Let's work this out here. Space A, whoops. space A, 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 S, H, A, O, A. Ah, reverse. This gets reversed, correct? RTEX. Okay, so this is actually reversed. If it's odd, it's just reversed. Okay, so if odd, um, reverse string. Is this reversed? No, this is not reversed. That's the weird thing. So this actually just kind of does that. The first character is just taken off and then added here. Okay, okay. So, um, time to do this. Let's go. Okay, okay, let's go. So, we split character into chunks, right? How do we do that? So, function, um, break into chunks of n, where n, well, we're given the string, we'll stir string n. Return stir dot split. Um, String let chunks equal array. String dot stir dot split at every character dot uh, for each ACC. Actually, we can reduce this chunks. The accumulator and uh, letter or char is going to be what is actually acted upon here. And then we're going to pass it that empty array, and then we really don't even need chunks. At that point, we actually might as well return this as well. So, do 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 do. Chunks char. Is there also an index? Index. If index 5 0. Ah, okay. Chunks equal that. And then this represents a chunk. So if char dot push, well actually chunk dot push char. If chunks dot push chunk. If it's the fifth character, which actually this needs to be that because it starts at 0, then it needs to push to the entire chunk pushes to that. So push, we start at the first character to the fifth letter, and then push right, and then how do we empty the chunk? Ah, return chunk. If equals, there we go. Okay, so we break that into chunks. flip every two characters of those chunks. So flip will function flip, right? We take the string. So free n characters of those chunks. If even, so if length, well, how do we decide something's even? We divide it by 2 and see what the remainder is. Um, uh, flip, right? So what do we, so if it's even, then return slice the second character of the string to the length plus asterisk 0. There we go. Else return string dot split, whoops, dot reverse dot join. So how do we implement this? I just broke up the things into functions. So the program into functions. So let's give it something here. What is some example? A short example. Actually, function flip every n chars given input, and let's just copy paste this. Quite honestly, saves me time, saves you time, everybody wins. So then we just need to implement flip every n chars, well, string and n. So let chunks equal break into chunks of n, n, n. Then ch chunks dot reduce val. We'll give it an empty string, and we return that. So return flip of val. Well, plus equals flip val. So let's see what happens. Flip every n chars. Every. Split is not a function. Ah. Val dot join. 3714. Split, what do you mean? Not a function. Break into chunks of n. Ah, I need to pass the string. String n. Oh, I messed up somewhere. Hmm. So, function if Yeah, I ran out of time. Dismiss. If let's test out flip first. Flip, flip, which it's even, so it should be lipfa. Whoops, lipfa log uh, flip pass past flips uh, strings of even length, else console.log failed flips strings of even length. Well, boop, 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 boop. If flip uh, uh, what do we want to flip? That's odd. Odd-ish. That's 6 characters. Oddest. Sure. There we go. Sol.log past flips strings of odd length. Boop, boop, boop. Not that. Boop, boop. Else failed. ODDIS. That was weird. So then we have to test break into chunks of n. So if break into chunks of n, oddis, because flip into or break into chunks of n is dependent on actually nothing. Wow. So break into chunks of n, oddis and 3, right? Just to test it. So is equal to how did I test this? Oh, JSON.stringify this. This is equal to JSON.stringify odd and then is then which one is this one? Oh, console.log failed. Oop, there we go. Past makes odd strings of odd length. Makes strings of odd length, and I'm so what are we doing here? So reduce, right? So chunks return. Oh, chunks. So breaks strings of odd length. Let's see how close we were, right? So giving that OHS X. What? Okay. Ah, well, actually, don't we need to test? Um, hmm. Let's take this. Literally just this. Because we know it's right. Show, oh, wait a minute. R, T, space, EX. Yeah, so if it's odd, reverse it. If it's even, N, space, just take this and put it on the end. Okay. Mm -hmm. Let chunks equal. So failed, right? So we need to. This is working, even after we did that. So failed. JSON stringify, break into chunks of n. Otis 3, correct? So 3 odd is. So we need to work on this, correct? This was made kind of in a rush, admittedly. So for uh, hmm. So flip every end characters of those chunks. So we need to split this into chunks. How do we split this into chunks? We can write a. We can get each character, and then once we hit a n, we can actually push it to an array. How else can we do it? Is there a method on here that lets me do what I need to do? So string JavaScript. Blink bold char at concat fixed. Repeat. It's not repeat. Can honestly keep slicing it. is less than length plus plus. So, for every character, if I n minus 1, because if it's 5, we need to do that, is equal to 0. Is that what we did before? Oh, we did. We actually messed that up completely. So, for every letter, check to see if it is um, divisible by that. And then if I is divisible by n, okay. So if we arrive to the point where, so let temp chunk equal this. So temp chunk uh, actually chunks dot push temp chunk, then temp chunk is reset. Else, it's gonna look a little better if we just, this is default behavior, or at least if it looks like that. Temp chunk dot oops, push the current character. Now, you see, my problem is now that, say for this example, odd is, or oddest, odd will be pushed. Is will not, because it does not meet up to the length that we are requiring of it, right? So if we were to run this as a fail, so how do we solve that? Or I is equal to, oh, aha, and this also needs to be up here because we need that to be the first thing that happens. So huh, I don't understand why this is not working. Odd dis. Chunks of n, oddest 3. What the world? The hell? So temp chunk dot push dot I. So 0, and it's not the beginning, and it's not equal to 0. There we go. What? This is so confusing. ODD, right? This doesn't seem like a hard problem. So, for every character, push the letter to this. Right? When does it push? When does this push to this? Whenever it is divisible by 4, by 3, by 2, and it's not the beginning, or I is the length. I is less than n, which is 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. It actually is -1. But then this happens. It breaks it from the end rather than otis console.log otis dh. So, first character, push it. Oh, I is I divided by 2. No, this has to be that. Because it's not exactly you being used as an index. It has to be used like that. Then 4, right? So 3. If I divisible by 3, so 0, I plus 1. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. At this point, I don't even understand the problem anymore. I mean, like, what's the deal with airline food? Let temp string equal that, right? So, temp plus equals stir I. If temp string length is equal to n, chunks dot push n. I mean, not n, chunk. I mean, temp string. And of course, parentheses don't work the way that I want them to. Oh, temp right, or temp string I is equal to length -1. What did I do to that? th -1. There. Man, why was that so hard? Man, screw arrays. Arrays are terrible. Hate arrays. The only thing that I have a problem with is that this is bad. Plus equals is like a sin whenever you're working with strings. But for now, you know what? Let's not worry about processing time. Let's worry about simplicity. I got here right now. This is the proudest moment of my life this far. So, um, this is what's the word? Moot? There we go. That. Screw that. Nobody needs that. Nobody even likes that anymore. So that odd is 3. So that means that flip that's different, flip every n chars. This deals with that. So this dot join is not even needed anymore because it's not no longer an array. Aha! There we go. There we go. Okay. Man, that was hard. Bam, bam. JSON to stringify. Um, odd I in 3. Odd I. Well, let's do 2 just to see what happens. Maybe somehow my logic is just not sound. Break strings of even length. Let's go. There we go. Life is good. So we tested flip. We tasted break in or tasted tested break into chunks of n. Now we need to test the implementation of flip every n characters. X triple ma. Well, no we don't, because it is done for us. It works. Everything works. Awesome. Let's try a short example. AOHS, AXE. Um, see, cool. So, there we go. I guess that's all done. Man, this was difficult. This was a 41-minute video. Now 42 minutes. I went almost double over. I guess having a quick, just now that I know I'm not going to be submitting this, let's go through a couple notes. First off, I still don't understand how I'm supposed to be writing these tests in under 20 minutes. That is really hard to me. Extremely hard for me. I can't test this in under 20 minutes whenever I spend a lot of time just trying to understand it. Really just trying to understand it. I feel like this isn't even, this takes a while just to, decrypt, I guess. Maybe it's just me. Well, like whenever they say flip, I'm very obscure about things, and it's telling me, follow these instructions carefully, which means read carefully. So a lot of my time, I think like 10 minutes was dedicated to understanding what this means, what this one sentence means. Then I try, but the good thing is I do try to, I am following a little trend here where I read it, I try to recreate the thing in my head. I try to solve it in my head, but I think the problem is that I try to solve it in my head and then I try to break it up into little pieces. I'm not sure if that's the right way of going about it, or if any way is the right way of going about it. In all honesty, I don't know that, but that is just what I'm doing. And then I get so paralyzed in the fact that I am under time and under stress, under a lot of stress. So I honestly feel like I wish I could write tests like this in under 20 minutes, but no, that is not the case here. See, I wrote the function. The good thing is, okay, what I will pride myself on is doing this. This kind of helped. Writing it out and trying to simplify things in English definitely helps. This helped me come to the conclusion that this pattern happened, that really it's just, A here, space here. It's really just flipped. And it also helped me realize that this is just taking the first character and just putting it at the end. So I think what I'm going to look into next time is really, really focusing on everything that JavaScript has built in, which is kind of hard because there's a lot, and this is just for one thing, right? And then next time I'm gonna worry about not worry about little details like processing power. Because I was aware from the start, just because of past experiences, that this is bad. This whole plus minus thing, because you have to create a new string every time this happens. So say this happens, so say you get past like a string of like a million characters, you're gonna have to create that. And since it's n of a big O of n, we're gonna have to create that a million times. Or I think like actually like a million and one times. But this kind of came later on in my thought process. This was this part was clear in my head from the get-go, but this didn't come until I hit run. And oh man, I did that so much. I am so terrible at these things. But the good thing is we're getting practice. I'm just leaving all this as mental notes for me to analyze later, write down later. Somebody else can look at it and see my struggle, laugh at me, be frustrated at me, yada yada. Flip was relatively simple, given that I already figured out the pattern. Now the implementation, I should not have even gotten to this point without making sure these two work in the way that I think they work. Speaking of, this little sentence doesn't even encapsulate what I want it to do. This is just kind of reiterating over the fact of this problem statement. This really doesn't help anything. This isn't helping me through my mental process. This did. This is me remembering stuff. And then this is just telling me, like, these all didn't help. This helped. Um, tests, yada yada yada. This should actually stay here at the very, very bottom because it should go last, but it doesn't. Now it does. If you've watched this far, and if you have any questions, please follow me. Wait, yeah, okay, cool. Just making sure. Follow me at iDevPancakes. I make random tweets. This is my Twitter account for tech stuff, so I will try to keep it purely tech and also funny, kind of not really tech memes. I like memes. I like a lot of memes. So, uh, follow me at iDevPancakes and on YouTube at iPonePancakes. If a potential employer is looking at this, um, at well, iPhone Pancakes is the code pen. My GitHub is also iPhone Pancakes. GitHub.com is iPhone Pancakes. And thank you for watching.